So today we're going to talk about a roofing contractor's blueprint for social media success. Anyone ever hear about this social media thing that's happened in the past couple of years? It's really, it's kind of new now in 2022. And I'm joking, of course, but social media, I am sure you have heard or you have realized that it is an extremely important part of your marketing efforts for your roofing business. So today we are going to talk about how to create video content for social media. Video content really has the best engagement on social media. We want to work with you on creating a weekly planning process for posting, also creating a perfect video framework. It's really hard sometimes to just come up with content on the fly and just ad lib the whole thing, and sometimes it's hard to develop scripts. So we're going to help you put a framework together. We're also going to show you how to syndicate your content for maximum reach. If any of you follow roofer marketers and roofing success on social media, you will know, you see how many times a day we post on all social media platforms. We do that through systems and processes and syndication of this content for maximum reach. And we also do that through our last point here, which we're going to work with you on, is repurposing content to increase the frequency of posts. So while we're doing this, let's turn off our cell phones, turn off Facebook. I will do the same. I'm going to turn my stuff on Do Not Disturb here. And if you're a roofing business owner and you're serious about getting better results, the next 60 minutes here could change your business. It really can change your business. For those of you that don't know me, I'm Jim Aline. But why the heck should you listen to me? Well, I am the co-founder of Roofer Marketers. We are a certified Google partner. We work with about 75 roofing contractors. We only work with roofing contractors, about 75 roofing contractors across the country, retail, storm restoration, commercial, residential. I'm the co-author of 2 books, Internet Marketing for Roofing Contractors and The Best Known Roofer. I speak at most of the major industry events. Members of the NRCA. I am the host of the Roofing Success podcast. We are ICO Roof Pro partners. I am the marketing coach for Adam Bensman's Pitch Pro movement, and we are partners in the Limitless Group Purchasing Organization. And really, we do this every day, right? We do digital marketing, social media advertising for roofing companies every single day. And there are 3 core principles to our omnipresent marketing system. And that's what a lot of these trainings are around. So the first opportunity or the first principle in our system is to maximize the opportunity for you to generate a lead for your roofing business. Social media, organic social media posts is one of those opportunities. So that's what we're going to focus on today. The second core principle of ours is to maximize your brand impressions to your perfect customer, and understanding that organic social media posting increases those brand impressions, which is extremely important. And the third is to maximize the conversion rates around everything that you're doing with your digital marketing and offline marketing. And so that, that is an important key factor in it. And the way that I'll help you structure your social media will help you increase the conversion rates on that. So really, we have a social dilemma, right? Every one of you knows. Put a 1 in the chat if you know you should be posting on social media for your roofing business. Put a 1 in the chat for me. Put a 2 in the chat if you don't feel like you're doing a good job of that. Yep. 2's coming in. Man, it's tough, right? It's really challenging. We know we need to do it, right? I had our graphic artist make this sign called The Social Dilemma, because a lot of you probably watched that Netflix special, right? And how how the algorithm really just engages people and sucks them in. And if you get to be a part of that, it's very beneficial for your business. But what I feel, okay, so Jen said good posting, but conversion's not the same rate as my post. Okay, good. We'll talk about that. That's awesome, Jen. One of the first things that I always see with contractors, not just with contractors, with people in any businesses, in regards to social media, is that it's inconsistent. Put inconsistent in the chat if you feel like your posts are inconsistent. And really, inconsistency in your posting is what a lot of the problem is, right? Having consistent posts on an ongoing basis and always posting. Who here has a competitor in their market that is in their social media feed nonstop, right? If you have, I'm sure you have, you see them, right? You see competitors, or, maybe you're part of some of the roofing groups on social, and you see these guys and they're just posting nonstop. Like, what are they doing? How do they do that? Time is an issue, right? So a lot of times when I talk to contractors and they're like, man, I just don't have time to post it. That's why it's so inconsistent. Another reason that I think people that posting becomes inconsistent is that creativity takes time, right? You have to sit down and think about, what am I going to post about, man? What should I do today? What does my audience want to hear? And we get stuck in this procrastination of trying to create the perfect, video or the perfect post for your social media. And in doing that, there's a big struggle, right? It's really challenging to come up with these creative ideas. If you look at some of the really more consistent content creators online, you're like, man, these guys are so creative, right? And then another thing that I think inhibits us from posting on a consistent basis is that when you do start posting, you're kind of waiting for those likes to come in and comments to come in, and all of a sudden it's just crickets, right? It's like, why, man, I took the time to create this content and I posted it on my social media and I got nothing from it, right? There's nothing coming in, nothing. And maybe that's kind of what Jen is talking about, good postings, but conversions are not, they're just not, maybe not converting, maybe not, just not getting that engagement that she's hoping for. And so really what happens then, this is really a failing, right? We have low authority to our perfect customer. We have low positioning and we have low organic momentum. On social media, you have organic and then you have your paid side of things, right? And they're two very different strategies for each of them. They can overlap, but there are definitely different strategies. So when we're not posting consistently, we're not being creative, we're not and we're not really getting any engagement, we are really failing in that. So drop it in the chat here. What is the hardest part of creating content for you? What is the hardest part of content creation for you? Jason, originality. Originality. That's a tough one, man. Yeah. Authenticity is another way of putting that, right? Being authentic to yourself, coming up with relevant topics that don't look like ads. That's definitely something, right? But people smell sales nowadays, right? It's just easy for them to understand, man. Oh, this is, man, they're just trying to sell me something, right? That's all it is. So we'll talk about all those. That's great. Originality, coming up with relevant talk, being relevant. Heather said, yeah, being relevant, right? Being relevant to your audience. It's hard to understand. You have to really take some time to reflect on what kind of value you can provide to your perfect customer, right? Me doing this webinar for you is one of those things, right? This is just a big content piece, right? This is a big content piece that I can provide value to my perfect customer, who are roofing contractors, right? But then what Jen said is coming up with things that don't look like ads. So this webinar can't look like a sales presentation, right? Just to make it relevant to this, right? And one of the things that I see is that what we want to do is we want to make content that flows, right? We really want to make content that flows, that's easy to produce. We want to make it easy to produce the content, easy to come up with topics. And to do that, we want to kind of paint by numbers, right? You remember that when you're a kid, paint by numbers, right? You put the red in the ones, and you put the blue in the 3, and the green in the 4s. And so in doing that, it will really make your content seem extremely prolific and relevant to your audience. And then success in this is really, new leads coming in from your social media content on a regular basis, right? It's that old analogy of a drill. People don't buy a drill. People don't buy a drill because they want to drill. People buy a drill because they want a hole, right? In regards to what we're talking about today, you're not doing social media content because you want to do social media content. The real true aspect of it is generating leads for your roofing business, or at least creating authority in your space, so that when your potential customers look you up online, they feel like you're the trusted contractor to go with. So, there's a good reason why you want to do this, right? You want to become the authority in your niche. You want to be the trusted go-to contractor in your area, and you want more leads from organic social media. And organic social media is free, right? So your lead cost is really low. It does take some time, right? So time is money, but it does take some time, but also they are free leads. It's free content, right? No big budgets. So we're going to work through 5 key principles to creating this content, right? And creating this social media machine, right? This content machine. And the first thing we're going to do is come up with topics in advance. Put a 1 in the chat if you feel like, if you just had topics that you could come up with in advance, you didn't have to sit down and think about it all the time and figure out what to post. That would be helpful. Drop a 1 in the chat if you think that would be helpful, to come up with topics in advance. There are a lot of ways to do this. There's a great book on the topic. He's been a speaker at a couple of the roofing conferences. He was at the Roofing Process Conference last year. The author of the book is Marcus Sheridan. It's They Ask You Answer. And really, it's very simple, that you guys get questions from your perfect customer every day, right? They're always asking you questions. They're calling into your business and asking questions. You're sitting at the kitchen table with them. They're asking questions. You're overcoming those objections in the sales process. On build day, they have questions, right? After the build is complete, they have questions. How do we maintain this? Is there anything we need to do right? There are questions that come up in your customer's mind on an ongoing basis. So coming up with topics in advance is fairly easy. We're going to walk through that framework also. The second key strategy is to shoot video in batches, right? Really, this can be done in about an hour and a half per week. If you get the system down properly, an hour and a half per week gets you social media posts for the whole week, right? And even for longer sometimes. All of it comes down to shooting video in batches. So now that we have these topics that we're gonna talk about, we take some time, we sit down and film. We film. And in that filming process, we're going to freestyle in a framework. So we're not going to write scripts for every single video, but we're just not going to go off freestyle every video either. We want to develop this framework where it's structured properly. It's structured in a way that helps with those conversion rates, as someone mentioned, that you're hitting on all of the key points, you're capturing their attention, you're giving them maybe the answer to the question that they're always looking for, and you're having a call to action. And all through that, it's a framework, right? There's a simple framework that we'll go through to do that. But we're gonna freestyle within that framework, so it doesn't feel or seem scripted or salesy. And so if we can master this framework, even the webinar that I'm doing today for you guys is a framework. So I don't have a script for this, right? But I have a framework. I have a beginning, a middle, and an end to the way that we do this webinar today. So it's a framework that I'm working in and working off of today, and I'll show you how we're going to work through how to do that in your social media. The fourth thing we're going to work on is amplifying your reach, right? The reason you're doing social media posts is to get more and more attention to your business. So in amplifying your reach, that will help you get in front of more and more people. And the fifth key thing that we want to work on is removing ourselves from the posting process. So we're going to go into this. Anyone have any questions at this point in time? Drop it in the chat. We're going to take a second here, and I'm going to talk about this book called The Content Rules. And I think it's going to give you some insight into your audience. Any questions to this point, drop them in the chat. So in this book, The Content Rules, they outlined the 1-9-90. 1% of the people online on these social media platforms are creators. 9% are contributors, and 90% are lurkers. We always see the creators. The contributors are the people that are in the comments, right? They're not creating the content, but they're the ones, they're sharing, they're commenting, they're engaged in the process. But if you look at this, right, that's not a lot of people. That's only 10% of the people on social media are actually involved in it. 90% of the people on social media are just watching from the background, right? That's all they're doing. And so we have to understand that. Maybe your post isn't getting a lot of likes, right? Maybe it's not getting a lot of engagement, but if it's being seen, you're getting those brand impressions to your perfect customer. So going through this a little bit, 65% of all Facebook video views come from mobile users, right? 85% of Facebook users watch videos with the sound off, and most people only watch 10 seconds or less of a video. But video content is how people are consuming. And there is a very strong trend towards video, especially with TikTok now, right? Everything on TikTok is a video. The TikTok effect has pushed back to Instagram in Instagram Reels, and it's pushed back to Facebook in those Reels. And now YouTube has YouTube Shorts, which are all vertical, short, bite-sized content that is getting a lot more engagement. We have been seeing about 1,000 times more engagement on our Instagram Reels than our Instagram posts. So it's in doing these videos and posting them the way that the social media platforms like, in bite-sized kind of videos, 3 minutes or less is what we're going to shoot for when we're starting out here. And so in doing that, in creating content, we also don't want to hit the same key every time, right? How many contractors do you see that that's the only thing in their Facebook feed, if you look at their page, is before and after pics? That's it. Before, after, before, after, before, after, before, after. It's the same thing every time. So we want to mix it up. We want to mix it up and make sure that we are that we're telling different stories, that we're connecting and communicating with people in different ways. Some of my favorite friends in social media, Jen says, my favorite post on Facebook is the one about getting the roof replacement done for only $7,000. Yeah, there's a specific Facebook ad agency out there that's been running those ads for roofing contractors, and it is, it's marketing, right? It gets a lot of engagement. It gets a lot of people to raise their hand. But in that, and we'll talk about that a little bit too, is the messaging. The messaging is who are you getting for that, right? Who wants a roof for $7,000 or less, right? Is that your perfect customer? It's like a 5-minute read too, lost me at that. Yeah. Sometimes it takes, short bite-sized content is really helpful in creating. So let's go into some of my favorite, some of my friends who create content for social media and who I think do a really good job. I am going to share my computer sound for a second. And Nikki, if you could remind me to turn my computer sound off after we do this. This is Adam Bensman, the roof strategist. He is one of the masters of freestyling in a framework. So I want to show you guys one of his social media posts here.
In this video, I'm going to be teaching you the confidence and motivation killers that we all succumb to. And this topic came up inside the Pitch Pro movement from a member who's actually smashing his income goals and earning about $20,000 a month and saying, how do I stay motivated? And maybe you're not quite there yet. And maybe you've never been there. Maybe you're brand new and you're experiencing a struggle with confidence and feeling motivated and wondering whether or not this industry is for you. Do you believe in yourself? Do you believe in the industry? Or do you believe in the company you're selling for? All of this is mental poison that can prohibit you or keep you from experiencing true success in the roofing industry. So in this video,
so that intro that he did was to catch your attention, right? That first part of the video, he was capturing your attention, but he's speaking to a specific person, right? That person who he's speaking to has those problems, right? So now he's going to provide the solution.
Broadcasted from our brand new studio, hopefully with better audio quality and no screaming microphone. I'm going to be teaching you how to spot these motivation killers and then a couple of very simple practices to help you break through so you can keep motivated no matter what.
So that was, here's what you can expect. Here was your problems. Here's what you can expect out of the rest of this video.
Hey, welcome back. And if you're new here, welcome. My name is Adam Bensman, the roof strategist, and everything I do here on this YouTube channel and on my podcast is designed to help you smash your income goals and give every customer an amazing experience. Now, if you haven't yet done it, head on over to theroofstrategist.com.
So I'm not going to play the whole 10 minutes of Adam's video, but I'm going to skip through. Essentially,
it doesn't flow as easily as other times.
Right? He teaches the strategy that will help solve that problem. gives you that educational value, provides value to you.
I thought that like when I hit this accomplishment, that first $100,000, frankly, I had broken that income goal. Now you have different tools to use that tell me what keeps you motivated when times are tough. I want to hear it, and your answers will inspire the wonderful community that is being built here on the Roof Strategist YouTube channel. And if you want more videos on confidence, click this playlist. And if you haven't yet done it, click right here to download a free copy of my Pitch Like a Pro roofing sales training video.
And those are some calls to action, right? So this is Adam's framework, but he's freestyling within that framework.
In this
out here in the Metroplex,
social media content creator in the roofing industry, and Jonathan Sherwood.
Out here in the Metroplex with industry friend and colleague Chad Hughes, owner of Deluxe Roofing and Construction, and he recently just had a PA get this claim awarded for him. It is a restoration on one part of the roof that's divided by an expansion joint that has some single ply. So he's working up the replacement portion on the restoration, and then on the other side of the expansion joint, the single ply, he was looking at buying some longevity to that system by doing a waterproofing with a high solid silicone. So he brought me in, we've walked the roof today, we're discussing kind of a plan of action. He's going to get with his client and then get back with me, and then we'll have the manufacturer spec out and take a look at the single ply system prior to the restoration so that we can bid it appropriately for their 20-year material and labor warranty. And then he will do what he does at Deluxe Roofing and Construction and get this project rolling. Roofers helping roofers, Texas, everybody wins.
Here's an example of a local roofing contractor talking about a job that they've done.
Good.
Hey guys, Matt Cook here with Texas Deluxe Construction Roofing, your roofing coach. Today is install day. We're here in Crowley, Texas, and we got a customer that called about 2 weeks ago, and she asked if we would come out and...
So explaining the problem and why they're there.
Looking at the roof, she thought maybe she had some damage from previous hail. So we came out, we inspected, we found some hail, we met with the adjuster, and the adjuster said, yeah, you got hail, we're gonna buy this roof. So today is install day. We've been here since about 7. Roofers are working hard. It's not quite hot, it's really nice. So they're working through it. We're about 3/4 of the way done. You can kind of see behind me. We took off a 3-tab shingle, and we are upgrading, which is pretty cool. So an Owens Corning laminate shingle. It's black onyx is the color. What you're seeing right here is the felt, and behind where you're seeing the roofer and the...
So what they're communicating to their customer is, hey, we do a good job, right? Communicating trust.
Where he's tied in, you're seeing...
Another one is Rainey from Next Gen Roofing and Construction.
Hey everyone, it's a very special day here at Next Gen. We are installing our COVID-19 relief roof giveaway over here in Granby. Mrs. Akuski, she had a roof installed about 15 years ago. They did a terrible job. The installation practices were horrible.
So he explained the problem that the homeowner was having, right? Terrible installation 15 years ago.
Been leaking for years. She lost her husband, living on Social Security. You know, and it's just, with the rising costs, it's tough to come up with the dough sometimes to do the maintenance needed. So we're doing this roof. We've partnered with GAF. It's 100% free, zero out-of-pocket expense for Mrs. Akuski. We're really proud to be able to do this and give back. We had to rip all the plywood off the entire roof. There was some mold issues going on in the attic. We treated all the rafters, installed all new plywood, all new roofing. She's going to get a great warranty. She's going to be one part of her life that she's never going to have. Living on Social Security, treated all the rafters, installed all new plywood, all new
So
roofs.
explain the
For
problem.
watching,
explain
guys.
what they're
Your
helping.
continued support has been really helpful in growing this business, and we're hoping to do more feel-good stuff like this in the future. Hope everyone has a blessed day.
So making sure that now people in their community are feeling that, hey, they're not just trying to sell me something, right? They're doing good work in the community. There's another person I've had, Andrew, on my podcast, Andrew Ittenauer, Masters Roofing in Memphis. He does an amazing job of it, of social media also.
From a nightmare. This flat roof section was an absolute disaster from start to finish. It had 2 skylights in the middle of it, caulked with tar. The whole flat roof was, probably 40 to 50 years old at the time. And the contractor they were going with was saying that they weren't going to replace it and that it was fine because it wasn't leaking. Not the case. It was a big problem. They just didn't see it on the inside of their home. So good thing is we're doing a new TPO, which is a commercial grade roof. We boxed up the skylights because the homeowner didn't want it anymore. And I think it's going to look great when we get done. Right now it's kind of a mess, but that's because it's roofing. That's how it is. Anyways, but I appreciate you guys for always tuning in. My number is 901-387-7439, and I'm Andrew with Masters Roofing.
So then he, at the end, communicated, hey, give me a call if you need some help also, right? Masters was my first job in roofing where I learned the ropes. That was pre-Andrew days. Oh, Heather, that's awesome. Yeah, Andrew was just a young guy in the, running around the office when his dad actually owns Masters Roofing. So his father owns the company. That's cool. Yeah, Andrew is one of those people. So when I had Andrew on the podcast, let me shut off my computer sound so it doesn't get a little funky there. But when I had Andrew on the podcast, he told me a story about how he was doing a lot of this social media stuff, and there's a lot of the older sales reps in the company stuck in their ways, right? That didn't want to do it, and he became the top salesperson at Masters Roofing, and then and the next year the guys gave him such a hard time about the social media. He said, you know what, I'm only going to do organic social media posts. I'm not going to knock a door. I'm not going to drop a flyer off. I'm not going to do anything but organic social media, take my referrals. And he sold about $2 million that year, completely from just posting on Instagram. So if that's not motivation for some of you to get your social media working right, that I don't know what is. So next, let's talk about how to get it done, right? Let's get down to it. Those were good examples of people that do it. Some of them just do it naturally, right? Adam works in a framework. Jonathan Sherwood has like a professional videographer with him and doing stuff like that, right? The guys down at Texas Select, they pull their phone out and just make a video talking about what's going on. Rainey with Next Gen, same thing. He just pulls out his phone and starts talking, and he has built an audience and people that watch him and understand the value that he contributes in his community. Andrew has done the same. Andrew brings out a videographer with him. I think he's told me once a month that comes out and helps him shoot content. So that's that batching. So all of those people that I showed you have different aspects that are good and bad, but none of them are specifically using our framework. But I want to give you this next framework so that you can do it a lot easier, but achieve what those people are achieving. So the first thing that we're going to do is create a monthly plan. So in that monthly plan, we're going to break down categories of topics, right? So we're going to have success stories, character stories, teaching on a topic, motivation, being the expert. Those are your categories. Another category would be team story that we have on here also. So now within that category, you are doing a post, you're doing a piece of content around that. So let's say in week 1, We're going to sit down and we're going to do a success story, which is the before and after of a recent project. It could just be the after, right? Hey, we're out here, we just finished up this roof, right? That could be the, the end of it. And so the success of how you completed that roof. The Jones family was experiencing, had experienced wind damage in the recent storm. This is the problem that they're having. Let's show you how to solve it. And this is the success of the new roof and the new roofing system that we installed that will keep their family protected for years to come, right? Next, you might be able to, maybe you tell a character story. Maybe it's the origin story, how you got into roofing, what drove you to build your roofing company. On my podcast, I've done over 100 episodes, right? So I've interviewed over 100 roofing contractors. And I can tell you that there is one single thread that is woven through a lot of their stories. And that is, I worked for a company who I didn't feel was doing the right thing for the consumer. Put a 1 in the chat if you've ever worked for a company that you felt, yeah, they're not doing it right. And maybe that's why you started your company. Heather, I hope that wasn't Masters. Just kidding. Chris, yeah, man, it's like, there's, and even if it's not a company that you worked for, maybe it was a company another company that you compete with, right? Like, talk about that. What drove you to build your company, or what drives you on a day-to-day basis of helping homeowners have more safety and security, in their roofing system. Another piece of the puzzle will be to teach on a topic, right? People ask these questions all the time. When to repair, right? When should I repair? Should I repair or replace? What are the common things to look for in a damaged roof, right? Those are teaching on a topic. Is your roof repair or replacement covered by insurance? What is the cost of a roof in your area? Why is roof maintenance important? All of these things are questions that you can answer and teach on. And in teaching on this, you're building your authority, right? You're building trust. When people watch these videos, they build trust. You do a piece of content on motivation, right? Share your favorite mantra, share a quote that means something to you, share your core values. Also being the expert, right? Another thing is being the expert. Show a tool that solves a particular problem. Maybe some of you guys use the catch-all system, right? That's a good piece of video content. Here, this is the catch-all system, and this is why we use it. Hey, does your roofer make sure that your rose bushes are protected when they're tearing off your roof? Here at my roofing company, we do that. We use this specific tool or tray, right? There are things that you can explain. You can explain why you are an ICO Roof Pro, and install ICO shingles. You can, explain why, you are a GAF Master Elite contractor, or OC Platinum Preferred, or what drove you to being that, using that specific roofing system and how it solves a particular problem. So in all of this, right? In all of this, you're being the expert, and it's a standardized plan, right? And you just mix up these topics so you're not hitting the same key every time. I saw Jen said, this is fantastic, exactly what I need right now. It makes it so much easier when you have this kind of framework. I've been teaching people how to shoot video content since probably 2012, 2013. We used to do vlogging, right? That's the first part of what I taught people how to vlog. And of the people that I taught, the ones that started doing this, and they would take the frameworks and start acting on upon the frameworks, all of a sudden what happens is content creation becomes easier. all of a sudden you start seeing content everywhere once you get in a rhythm and start doing it. So I think they say it takes 21 days to create a habit, right? If you do this for, multiple weeks, just once a week, hour and a half, shoot 5 videos, 5 3-minute videos on, a success story, character story, teaching on a topic. You do that for 1 month, right? Just 4 weeks of doing that. I guarantee that you will start to see, wow, oh, I could I could do a video about this. I could do a video about that. It really, really helps you. Once you get in the rhythm of doing it, it makes a lot of sense. So now we have our plan. So the next thing we're going to work on is freestyling within a framework. So the framework starts with a promise, right? The promise is what problem you're going to solve for them today. How are you, it's kind of the way that you're pulling them into the content. Adam Bensman does it tremendously well. If you heard the beginning of that video, like this is what I'm going to teach you today. This is the problem that people have, and I'm going to solve it for you. Then you can enter your branding. Hey, this is Jim Aline with Roofer Marketers, and then you want to seed. And in seeding, you're kind of giving a brief overview of what you're going to teach on or go through. And then you're going to go through the topic and training. You're going to have a call to action, and you're going to sign off. Now you have a framework to freestyle in, right? You're always going to start with a promise, add in your branding, seed what you're going to do, seed the value, do your topic or training, have your call to action, and sign off. Put a 1 in the chat if you think that this simplifies the way that you can create content for your roofing business. Justin 1, Mark 1, right? I hope this can help you, right? Because I understand that content creation is challenging. And that is really why only 1% of people do it. Number 5 is call to action. CTA, call to action. So you heard at the end of Andrew's video there, hey, my phone number is, 555-5555. Give me a call if you need any help. Adam was saying, hey, subscribe to my YouTube channel, comment below. Those were his calls to action. Everyone had their calls to action. The guys from Texas Select, hey, give us a call if you need anything like that. If you have experienced storm damage on your house, make sure to give us a call. We're the trusted experts in your area, right? So now let's look at that in action. So the promise. On this video today, I am going to show you how to determine the cost of a roof in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Hey, this is Jim Aline with Joe's Roofing, and this is one of the most common questions that we get from homeowners. So now let's talk about what determines the cost of a roof. We're going to talk about the pitch and the slope and the peaks and the valleys and the roof accessories and the roof accessibility and the materials that you use and if you need to replace the decking or not and the components of the roofing system, and we use these pipe boots or that, and that should give you a range of $8,000 to $15,000 depending on all of these things. If you would like to receive a detailed estimate on replacing your roof, please visit our website at joesroofing.com and schedule your free estimate, or give us a call at 555-5555. Thanks for joining me on this quick video. I'll look forward to talking to you soon. That's the framework, right? You get to freestyle within the framework. So who thinks they can do this? Put a 2 in chat if you think that you can do this. Man, all right. Jen thinks she can for sure. Justin. Mark is like, that's my next video. Next video. How long should the videos be? So, we want to keep videos under 3 minutes. Different platforms have different video length requirements. But most of the time, we're shooting for under 3 minutes. Sometimes if you're shooting for Instagram content, it might be a minute. So you have to check on the time of length of what you're trying to shoot, but trying to shoot for under 3 minutes. That's to get started, right? To get started, I like to say under 3 minutes. There is no perfect time. You know, people do usually just watch that beginning 10 seconds, and that's where that promise, branding, and seed really help to engage and get them to listen if it's relevant to them, right? There's a lot of times that we click on something and it's just not as relevant to us as we wanted it to be, right? So we click off of it. It's normal. Now, once you get good at this, I say the length of time should be what it takes to explain what you need to explain, right? Once you get this down, if it takes you a minute and a half to shoot one topic, but it takes you 5.5 minutes to explain something else, that's how long content should be. We're really in the beginning trying to focus on short, catchy videos that give good value and solve a problem for the person watching. So now we're going to do a video exercise. Who did I just scare? I'm sure I just scared a couple of people when I said that we're going to do a video exercise. All right. You want to pick 3 topics. So take a second here, pick 3 topics. We won't do it on the call today, but let's pick 3 topics. Everyone write down 3 topics. And once you get them, write your 3 topics in chat. After we get off of this video, after we get off the webinar today, go and shoot those 3 videos, 2 to 3 minutes each. Just use your webcam on your computer or use your phone. Don't overthink it. Just do something, right? So Mark said drone inspection, right? Mark said drone inspection. Are you available to unmute, Mark? Let's chat through that a little bit. Oh, mic is broken. All right. Storm damage financing, what to expect on build day. That's awesome, Heather. If you're able to unmute, let's go through a couple of those.
Hello.
Hey, how's it going?
Good. How are you?
Good. So let's talk about storm damage within the framework. So let's work on just an example here. Let me pull the slides back a little bit. We'll go back to the framework here. Let's start with a little bit of scripting for the promise, right?
Okay.
What would you want to express to someone in the storm damage or financing or what to expect video? We could do either of them, whichever one you think, and we'll walk you through and help you kind of put the framework together for it.
Okay, so what? So personally, I would like to do the financing one. That's something new we've incorporated this month. So that's a big one that I've been working on. And I noticed just from doing like SEO research and stuff that that's a big thing people
it's a big one
look into is how can I pay for my roofing companies that offer financing and those type of topics. So as far as for the promise up front.
So how about something like this? How about something like this? On this video, I'm going to share with you how you can pay for a new roof with no money out of pocket.
Perfect.
Then it's, hi, I'm Heather with, what roofing company are you with now?
Your Texas Roofer.
Yeah, all right, nice. Hey, it's Heather with Your Texas Roofer. This is one of the most common questions that we get from homeowners, and it's one of the biggest fears that they're facing. How do I pay for this roof?
Yeah.
Then for the topic and training, right? Let's highlight some of the things about the financing programs that you guys offer.
Sorry, I'm writing.
Oh, you're fine.
Okay. So some of the topics that we offer.
It's some of the financing, what are the highlights of the financing options that you guys have?
So the biggest one that most people like to take advantage of is the 18 months, no interest.
Nice.
That one can be done for like deductibles because being in Southern Texas, you have those
That's right.
insurance, those hurricane deductibles, they're a lot higher than, in other places.
Yep.
So that's a good one. And then, I mean, our financing options actually extend up to 5 years. So, I mean, the lower, if somebody's just wanting to pay very minimum a month, then, that's an option as well.
Yep. So that would be the topic, right? So, hey, if you want to pay, if you don't want to pay interest on this, there's an option for you to finance for 18 months with 0 interest. And then it's the same as out of pocket. But on the other hand, maybe your goal is to have the lowest payment possible. There are programs out there that will allow you to finance it for up to 5 years, and that will allow you to have the lowest payment possible, right? So you're explaining each of them. I think the financing of your deductible could be a completely separate video than just the financing options.
Okay.
You could briefly mention it in this one, but I think that one is now another whole video. Hey, on this video, I want to show you how you can finance the deductible of your, on your insurance deductible for your roof replacement because of storm damage or something like that, right? So now you're starting to break this down. You could even break that down even further. You could do one video about having, getting a no interest financing. So you have a video on financing your deductible. You have a video on no interest financing. You have a video on getting the lowest payment for your financing, right? So you can, now, do you see how it kind of compounds upon itself?
Topics within topics.
Yeah, and so there's topics, within the topics. And so you could do the one big one with all the different options, and then you could just start, oh man, I could do one about this and one about that. And so now it just starts to compound upon itself. And that's how you start seeing content everywhere. Now that we've talked about these financing options, if you need help with your roof, reach out to us at, right? This is Heather. Thank you for joining me on this quick video. Look forward to talking to you soon.
Cool. Awesome.
Right. So hopefully that was helpful to everyone in an actual, live going through that for that video exercise. Now let's move on to repurposing your content. Put a 1 in the chat if you follow Roofer Marketers or Roofing Success on Instagram or on Facebook or on LinkedIn or on TikTok. I better see, let's see how many people are on here. We have I better see 16 ones on this. If you don't, please go to @the Roofer Marketers on Instagram, on all social media platforms. So I'm going to pull this up real quick and show you guys what this looks like. If you do not follow us, you really should. Just my personal opinion. It's a little biased, but it's my personal opinion. But I want to show you this. So this is our Instagram channel. I think Instagram is the easiest way to see this. We had another Instagram account, so maybe you followed that one. It was @Roofer Marketers. Instagram shut us down last December. We had 4,500 followers. So what we've decided to do is come back and build 2 new Instagram profiles. So you can see on here, there's a multiple different forms of content that's going on. And what we're doing though, is we're repurposing content. So now if you create a long video, let's say you do this, let's say Heather, for example, you take that financing video and you do it, and it's like 5.5, 10 minutes or something like that, 5 minutes, 10 minutes. You could put that video on your YouTube channel, but then you could pull little clips of it and put those clips on your social media. So when you create a piece of content, it's not that that piece of content is done and lives there forever and you never get to use it again. You can also post it again a month from now, 2 months from now. You can post it on your Facebook, your LinkedIn, your Instagram, your TikTok, right? You can post it in multiple places. So now that is what we're talking about in repurposing your content. It makes your content creation so much easier. So now you're building a library. As you are creating this content, you're building a library of content that you can create, that you can continuously post into the future. And in doing that, you can use tools like Sendable, Social Pilot, Sprout Social, Plannable, Meet Edgar. These are some of the tools that you can use to batch these posts. So whether you're just doing the standard film 5 videos in a day, schedule it out for social media, you can use any of these tools for that scheduling. But these tools also do evergreen, it's called evergreen posting. So now you could film 50 videos, put them into a queue, and sort them of how you want to sort them, and say, hey, I want one video to go out every day at 1 o'clock, or every Wednesday at 1 o'clock, Tuesday at 3 o'clock, Friday at 11:30 a.m. Right? And you can schedule these times of the day, and then the content just keeps going out, right? That Instagram account that you see there, I don't personally post on. Now, Nikki does post on there sometimes, but we also have these built out in our queues, and they just continuously keep posting. So now let's talk about the next steps, right? The next steps that we want to do is we want to customize your content plan. We want to block a day and time that you'll shoot your videos weekly, and set up your syndication, right? Those are the 3 things that you want to do. Brian said, follow us at Super Roofing Company. Nice, man. I should bring up Brian's for now. Where's Brian's? Instagram. I'll show it off for you, just for you promoting it. Just for you promoting it at Super Roofing Company. Here's Brian's. Let's all follow Brian at Super Roofing Company. Nice, man. Awesome. Shout out to you. You got 2 new followers already. So let's talk about Heather said follow back though. So everyone follow back. So let's talk about now, like, any takeaways that you've learned, right? Who type in chat, or feel free to unmute yourself and talk about the takeaways and what you've learned and what you're going to implement. Well, I got a little spell check to do there. What will you implement? I forgot a space. So, well, it wasn't me. Someone else, our graphic artist created the slides for me. So he forgot a space. All right, what are you going to implement? What are you going to implement? That's the thing. What did you learn? What are you going to implement? So we talked about how to create video content for social media, right? A weekly planning process, the perfect video framework, how to syndicate the content, repurposing content to increase the frequency of posts, and to take the pressure off you of posting every single day. So Benjamin said more on the fly content with our team. Jen said she's going to plan. Heather said prep, plan, and stay consistent. Consistency is the most important part. And remember the lurkers in your consistency. There are people watching, even if they're not engaging a lot. Of course, you want to create engaging content and get people liking and commenting and posting, and you'll get further reach from doing that in the algorithms, but make sure that you're doing it on a consistent basis. Our goal with our social media content is that anytime you open up LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, we are in your story and in your feed, right? That's our goal. Our goal isn't to have so much reach or so many views or so many likes or so many comments, is that we just want to have those brand impressions to all of you, our perfect customer. All right. So now it's 12:02. If anyone has any questions, feel free to stick around, drop it in the chat, unmute yourself. I'd be happy to stick around for a little bit and answer any questions that you have. If you want to find out how our team, how roofer marketers can help you generate more revenue through your digital marketing efforts, go to roofermarketers.com, schedule a call with us, or feel free to call us at that phone number. And also, please tune in to the Roofing Success Podcast on your favorite podcast networks or on YouTube. If anyone has any questions, drop them in the chat. Benjamin, you're welcome. Thanks for everyone for joining today.